China is now taking a firmer line in the South China Sea, so Asian countries are starting to show a comparable reaction. While because of Singapore's plans to buy an F-35, the stealth aircraft race in Asia also seems to be starting. In January 2019, Singapore announced plans to buy a number of F-35 fighters for evaluation purposes. Although this is not surprising to many Singapore military observers, the decision came at a tense time for Singapore, when China became firmer and tensions rose with Malaysia. Can the purchase of F-35 fighter jets accelerate the arms race in the region? How do the F-35's unique technical characteristics make it suitable for Singapore's tactical environment? According to the National Interest Notes, to understand the impact that the F-35 will have on Singapore's national defence, it is important to know that the fighter will replace Singapore's sophisticated F-16 variant. Singapore operates around 60 Block 52 F-16 fighter jets, which are undergoing an upgrade program that gives them more sophisticated features such as AESA radar. However, the Singapore Defence Ministry predicts F-16 aircraft will be obsolete by 2030. In the Singapore military, the F-16 functions in a multi-role capacity. However, the latest increase seems to have prioritized its role as an assault aircraft rather than air-to-air combat. Although some air-to-air missiles are included in F-16 weaponry, they are AIM-9X short-range missiles. The majority of the equipment purchased was intended for assault missions, ranging from laser-guided devices for bombs to AGM-65 Maverick air-to-ground missiles. For fully air-to-air missions, Singapore will likely rely on F-15SG fighter planes, which are optimized for this role with additional systems such as infrared search and tracking, IRST. Thus, if the F-35 is expected to replace the F-16, the reason may be because the F-35 is seen by the Singapore Ministry of Defence as the most powerful light assault aircraft in airspace that will be filled with increasingly deadly weapons threats. Although the number of Singaporean Air Force F-35s may not be sufficient for saturation attacks against large opponents such as China, which have significant anti-access capabilities, the F-35 can significantly reduce the risk of a preemptive strike against less prepared opponents such as Malaysia. The preemptive strike is an important part of Singapore's doctrine, given that the city-states do not have profound defence capabilities, so an increase in capability in the arena might have the necessary preventative effects. The National Interest reports, the F-35B jet fighter variant can also significantly increase its ability to survive in case of runway damage due to sudden attacks, due to its vertical landing and takeoff (VTOL) capabilities. Singapore is very small, so its number of airbases are prominent targets. While attacks on them can paralyze the ability of the F-16 or F-15 to launch flight missions, the ability of the F-35 jet fighter jet VTOL allows it to stay in combat longer than traditional platforms. Singapore maintains the ability to create an airfield that matches field conditions, field expedient airfield, in their air power generation command. The short takeoff path of an F-35 fighter will allow the command to do more with less advantage in the field. F-35 fighter planes are also well integrated with other U.S. aircraft in Singapore. The F-35 uses the same pilot data, radar and ergonomics link. The fighter jet is also well integrated with modern Singapore doctrine. The Singapore military is trying hard to become a nimble and interconnected force, in what they call IKC-2, Integrated Knowledge-Based Command and Control. The F-35's ability to present a rich sensor image of the tactical environment will make it a very important asset in the IKC-2 doctrine. In terms of strategic considerations, Singapore's decision to buy F-35 fighter aircraft placed it in what China call the F-35 Friendship Circle of the United States, a group of countries bordering China that had bought F-35s to fight Chinese air power which more resilient. The group currently includes South Korea, Japan and Australia. The purchase of the F-35 by Singapore reiterates its commitment to defence and integration cooperation with these regional allies, in what some have called the strategic quadrilateral. Reporting from the National Interest, Singapore's decision to announce the purchase of F-35s during a series of sea and air disputes with Malaysia shows the ability of the F-35 can be a big influence that might be used in the future in regional affairs. While the Malaysian Air Force is well established in the region, the latest aircraft it is considering buying is only a fourth generation and will probably only be compared to the upgraded Singapore F-16. The purchase of an F-35 fighter jet by Singapore will be a significant strategic advantage, and could pressure Malaysia to possibly turn to Russia to buy more advanced anti-access weapons.